Good morning, All Saints. It's Monday morning, March 21st. We have entered the season of spring, and it actually feels like it, although it's going to be a bit on the chilly side this week, I understand. But the buds are beginning to peek through the ground, and there's just a sense that something has changed. And this is always such a lovely time of year because soon after we know that Easter will follow. And so it's that sense of renewal and rebirth and resurrection and all of that. And it's really quite a wonderful way to go outside in the morning when it's still a little dark, to take the dog out and to have that feeling that spring is definitely in the air. I hope that you all had a good weekend. We had a wonderful morning of worship yesterday, with 3 services, trying out the mask optional, which I think went well. People seemed comfortable either way, and I am grateful for everyone's grace and patience through 2 years of navigating this, and we will continue to monitor everything as we have promised to do. Today, we have a commemoration of a bishop named Thomas Ken, and I don't want to get too deep into the weeds of English history, but he was loyal to the crown during the Great Commonwealth in the mid 17th century. He served under Charles II at the restoration of the monarchy. And when Charles died and James II became king, James had converted to Roman Catholicism, and everybody was worried that the Church of England was going to be disestablished and Roman Catholicism reestablished as the state church. And so James II was deposed, and in what is now known as the Glorious Revolution in 1688, in which William and Mary came to the throne. Well, even though James II um, was endangering the church, there were clergy, bishops, and priests in the Church of England who had pledged an oath of loyalty to the crown. That's what you do in England. And because some of them, a group of them, did not believe that William and Mary had legitimately come into power, they refused to take the oath of allegiance to the king. And this is what a non-juror is. The word perjury is related to it. It's someone who won't take an oath. And so they went to Scotland, where the established church had been a Reformed church. Now it became Presbyterianism, but the Church of Scotland grew out of this, which it has roots in the church in England. Probably what most people know about Ken, if I said to you or sang to you, "Praise God from whom all blessings flow," you would recognize those words as the doxology that's been sung in churches all over the place for forever. Well, they were penned by Thomas Ken. So there's a connection for you as you go about your day. You can sing the doxology and remember Thomas Ken on this day of his commemoration, remembering him as someone who stood up for his principles, and in this case, it was at a dear cost, and a very fascinating time in the history of the church in England and the history of England altogether. So if you're interested in it, look up Thomas Ken and find out more about him. We will be here this evening for Sung Compline at 7:30, evening prayer on Wednesday at 6:30, and I'll be back with something else for you on Thursday morning. In the meantime, my prayers are with you and all those you love and pray for as you go about this week.